Welcome to Cupid's Logic, where love meets predictive intelligence. We decode attraction, conflict, attachment, and compatibility, so you can know if it will last before you commit.
You know who apologized first. You know who paid for the last 3 dinners. You know how many times you asked for the same change and how many times your partner promised to make it. Then they ask, "What's wrong?" And you say, "Nothing. I'm fine." But inside, the numbers are still moving.
Maybe you remember who planned the last date, who handled the difficult family conversation, who got up early, and who kept the peace after the argument. Maybe you remember the favor that was never returned. You are not necessarily trying to punish anyone. You may simply be trying to prove to yourself that your hurt is real. Welcome to Cupid's Logic. I am your host, Craig Pruitt, and today we are diving into the scorekeeping forecast. Are you building a partnership, or are you keeping a ledger?
Here is the idea I want you to hold on to. Scorekeeping is not automatically proof that love has failed. It is a signal. It can point to an unmet need, an unclear expectation, an invisible contribution, or a repair that never really happened. The ledger is information, but it is not yet a verdict.
And the most important forecast is not whether the numbers are perfectly equal. They never will be. One person may have more energy this week. The other may be carrying more responsibility next month. The real question is what happens when the imbalance is named. Do you get curiosity, shared responsibility, and change? Or do you get dismissal, defensiveness, and the same pattern again? Picture a couple I will call Maya and Daniel. Maya manages the school calendar, remembers appointments, starts the conversations after conflict, and notices when the household is running out of something. Daniel pays the bills, handles repairs, and works long hours. Both of them are contributing. Both feel unappreciated. Maya thinks, if I stop managing everything, nothing will happen. Daniel thinks, I do plenty, and none of it counts.
That is where fairness becomes complicated. Visible work is easy to point to. Invisible work can live in someone's head all day. Emotional labor includes remembering, anticipating, checking in, initiating repair, and carrying the feeling of responsibility for everyone else's experience. It is still work, even when there is no finished object sitting on a table.
But Daniel's contributions are real, too. The problem is not that one person must be declared the winner. The problem is that they are using different measuring systems and expecting the other person to understand the value automatically. Maya wants initiative. Daniel believes reliability is already initiative. Neither expectation has been made clear enough to become a shared agreement.
This is also the difference between healthy accountability and transactional affection. Healthy accountability sounds like, we agreed that you would handle this, and it has not been happening. We need to revisit the agreement. Transactional affection sounds like, because I did this for you, you owe me affection, access, agreement, or forgiveness. One protects the partnership. The other turns care into pressure.
You are allowed to want reciprocity. You can say, I cannot carry this responsibility by myself. You can expect honesty, respect, follow-through, and repair. But cooking dinner does not purchase romance. Paying a bill does not purchase agreement. An apology does not erase the other person's hurt on command. Love is not a vending machine. If the terms were never discussed, both people can feel cheated by an exchange that only existed in their own mind.
So, how do you find out what is really happening? Try 3 questions, but do not turn them into a new scorecard. Use them as a shared reset when neither of you is already in the middle of a fight. First, what am I giving? Be specific. Maya might list school logistics, household planning, emotional check-ins, and initiating repair. Daniel might list bills, repairs, income, and long workdays. Do not say everything. Name the actual responsibilities, compromises, money, time, and care. Then ask, can my partner see this, or have I been hoping they will infer it? Second, what am I expecting? More help in the morning? More initiation of affection? Better follow-through after an apology? A fairer approach to spending? Say the expectation plainly. You may discover that you have been waiting for your partner to perform love in the exact form you would perform it. Or you may discover that you have asked clearly, repeatedly, and reasonably, and the request keeps being ignored.
Third, what have I clearly communicated? Not what you hinted at, not what should have been obvious. What did you actually explain, and what response did you receive? This question prevents two mistakes. It keeps you from blaming yourself for a problem you have raised many times, and it keeps you from judging someone by rules they were never given a fair chance to understand.
Now, look at the pattern. Is this a difficult season because of illness, work, parenting, grief, or a major transition? If so, the answer may be support and a temporary plan. Or is the same imbalance repeating after several clear conversations and reasonable opportunities to change? That points to a structural problem involving willingness, compatibility, or the need for outside support. Be honest with yourself. You may be giving freely, but silently expecting repayment. Your partner may be benefiting from your flexibility without recognizing its cost. Or both of you may be exhausted, waiting for the other person to notice first. Those are problems worth discussing. But curiosity does not mean explaining away chronic neglect, and compassion does not require you to tolerate coercion, intimidation, or exploitation. If you feel unsafe raising the issue, prioritize support and safety instead of attempting a fairness conversation alone.
When the ledger is ignored, generosity starts to feel dangerous. You stop helping because you are tired of feeling foolish. You stop bringing up concerns because every concern becomes a debate about who has done more. An apology is judged against the entire history of failed apologies. Both partners can work hard and still feel chronically underpaid. That is the trap. Plenty of effort, very little felt security.
The repair begins when you stop presenting evidence and start designing a better agreement. Instead of saying, "You never help," try, "I have noticed that I am handling the morning routine most days, and I am becoming resentful. I need us to create a responsibility that does not depend on me reminding you." That gives your partner an observation, an emotional truth, and a specific need. Then negotiate ownership, not just assistance. Assistance means one person remains the manager while the other waits for instructions. Ownership includes noticing, planning, completing, and following up. If Daniel owns dinner twice a week, that might include choosing the meal, checking what is available, shopping if needed, cooking, and cleaning up. The responsibility belongs to him from beginning to end.
Add appreciation where it is genuine. I saw that you handled that without me asking, and I felt supported. Appreciation makes effort visible. It does not erase an agreement that is still being broken. Then check back in. Ask, is this working? What still feels unfair? What needs to change? That is not management. It is maintenance. I understand the temptation to keep the ledger. When you feel unseen, remembering can feel like protection. But proof is not the same as repair. You do not have to bring the entire archive into one conversation. Choose the pattern that matters most right now. Name the impact. Ask for a change that can be observed. Then watch what happens next. That response is compatibility information. Your partner may not respond perfectly on the first attempt. They may feel surprised or defensive. But over time, are they willing to understand the impact, share responsibility, and practice different behavior? Are you willing to hear their experience without immediately comparing it to yours? Long-term compatibility is not the absence of imbalance. It is the presence of mutual repair, emotional safety, and a willingness to keep redesigning the partnership as life changes. So, are you ready for the truth? The ledger is not proof that love has failed. It is a signal that fairness has become invisible, uncertain, or unsafe to discuss. Ask what you are giving, what you expect, and what you have clearly communicated. Separate a temporary season from a recurring pattern. Protect your needs without turning affection into payment. And when you raise the issue, watch for willingness, not just promises. If this episode gave you language for something you have been carrying quietly, share it with someone who may need that clarity. Visit cupidslogic.com to explore the compatibility tools behind this show and start seeing the patterns before you make your next big commitment. You deserve to know whether the connection you are building has the foundation to last.
Thanks for listening to Cupid's Logic. Remember, you're not bad at relationships. You've been flying blind.
This has been Cupid's Logic. Stop flying blind in love. Visit cupidslogic.com and let the Prism engine reveal what your relationship data already knows.